Gandhi, was lifting up a certain understanding of the Hindu tradition. And as you mentioned, a very ascetic understanding of the Hindu tradition. Some scholars have argued, I think with good grounds, that Gandhi's asceticism as a householder, because again, we have the 4 goals and we have the 4 stages of life, but he was bringing a sort of a radical asceticism even to the life of the married person, what we speak of as the householder stage in life. And there's argument that was much more deeply influenced by Jainism than by Hinduism. Because Jainism is a radically ascetic tradition. I mean, the aspiration is that everyone should, at some point in time, embrace the ascetic life. It has a very different view of the human body and its place and purpose in existence. So that is one explanation for Gandhi's particular view. And the second is that the kind of asceticism that he was commending for the householder is really belongs to what we speak of as the 4th stage of life, the stage of renunciation. And so his interpretation was not, in that sense, mainstream.
Right.
Because the householder stage of life in Hinduism is the stage in which, one should be attentive and diligent about wealth gathering, about the education of one's children, about sharing with one's community. So Gandhi, his teaching that one should not think of tomorrow or make any preparations for tomorrow is what really would be the sort of values that one would associate with the renunciant order. Of course, all things are to be done in moderation, even for the householder. So the pursuit of wealth or artha, and the fact that was not understood to be a bare minimum is emphasized in what would be the 3rd goal. So you have dharma, which I've spoken about, the moral dimension of life, wealth, the material dimension of life, and thirdly, the aesthetic dimension of life. That even the verse that I quoted to you from the Isha Upanishad speaks of enjoying. And here you have life should be, the word is karma, or pleasure. The pleasure of friendship, the pleasure of the arts, the pleasure of music is part of the good life.
Yeah.
A good life is not one that is reduced to an ascetic minimum. Pleasure as a component of life, which in the Hindu tradition included, healthy sexual life as well. So that's why, Gandhi, I must say, was very deeply troubled by the fact that in so many of the Hindu temples, you had scenes that depicted human sexuality. He wanted those to be taken down, to be removed, because he could not imagine that, given his own disposition, that even a healthy sexual life is part of what it means to be human, and is not inconsistent also with spiritual commitments. And finally, the 4th goal that I'll mention, while the tradition commends pleasure, as vital as these pleasures are, they are short-lived. So I distinguish perhaps between pleasure and joy. The 4th goal is spoken of as moksha. But moksha is the goal that takes us to a deeper place of meaning, a deeper place of joy, that is quite distinct from the joy of a good meal, the joy of a good conversation, the joy of listening to the music that we love. All of those are beautiful and proper and have their place. But an abiding joy, a lasting joy, a joy that is capable of enduring even in the midst of suffering, in the midst of life's pain. That is a joy that we discover only through divine awareness, a life that is centered in divinity, a life that is centered in the ultimate nature of the universe. And if we don't, come to that goal, there will also be something fundamentally missing, incomplete, inadequate in life.